Hey guys, want to do another quick video. I'm gonna try to do these as often as I can to just kind of share a little bit of nuggets of kind of how I trade and that type of stuff, right? So I'll hopefully I can keep this video under 10 minutes here for you guys. But first and foremost, I want to go over one trade that I took, which was actually the last trade I had taken on the NQ on Friday's New York session. So what I have up here is my trader stats. For those who've been following me know, this is my preferred day trading journal. It's got everything that I need for a very low cost, which is kind of why I love it. Because I found that whenever I used other platforms, although they had a lot of good benefits as well, I just wasn't using half of them. So like I kind of defined it to a lot of my friends as like it's like having a gym membership and never going to the gym, right? So I just didn't want to pay for more than I needed. Um, I'm going to go over the trade that I took via my trader stats, and then I have on the left side here just the Discord log of where I was kind of logging some of this along the way. And so why I want to share this was because I've had a couple of questions asked with me before about like, the trade setups, and as well as, obviously I usually trade mini contracts. I don't trade micros ever, at least not anymore. I used to when I first started, figuring out my craft, but I'm fairly confident with my trade setups now. So I don't do micros. But for the sake of this today, I will share. I took this trade specifically just to show that, it is possible to still make good money on the market trading micros, especially when you're learning the craft still, right? Because for us when we're learning, our goal at first, maybe, of course, we want to get our payouts. We want to make money right away. But I would almost say that it's a level of disrespect to ourselves and the craft if we try to rush the process too much, right? Because we want to make sure that whatever craft we're learning is going to be sustainable through different types of cycles. And I won't even go too much deeper into that thought at today. But I did want to highlight why I took micros. I was also at work during this time, juggling a few meetings at the time being, so I wasn't looking to take on too much risk that I wasn't willing to take on, which is why I traded micros as well. And so what I have in front of you here is actually one of my top step accounts. And so this is just for the month. So this is the current month. This is for the month of May. So we're about 10 days into the month, but I think trading day wise, we only have like 6 trading days so far locked in. And so this is one of those accounts. Okay. So I'm going to go through this just to kind of explain. So far on this top step account, not too bad, $6,600 for the month. Fairly high win rate, which is higher than actually normal for me because usually my win rate's around I hover around the 70 is what I've noticed in terms of my averages, right? But overall, very solid RR as well. I'm going to go over, so just kind of quickly click on it. So the Friday was the session that I traded. That basically referred to the micro trader. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this first. And so as you can see, I did take a few different trades, I think, on this account this day. And overall, all wins, which is very grateful because not every day is going to be like this. But I highlighted in my Discord here on the left, stating that it was now 9:46 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I should say. And I was looking at taking longs. And the reason why I was looking to take longs is because we were holding and respecting a level. I was looking essentially for like a triple bottom to pull up. Now, not because he's spoiler alert, but just to kind of fast forward, the outcome is it was still a positive trade, but it wasn't as strong of a reaction that I was hoping for. Overall on the market, I was a fair bit biased for the long for the upside. I was hoping that we were going to tag the 2400 area on Friday, but we never really got that, which again, all good, right? We can't predict the market. All we can do is really be prepared and react accordingly. But anyways, I took the trade, and as I mentioned here, I was taking it with three micros. And so as a person who generally trades 1 to 2 minis most of the times, A plus setups will sometimes be 3 minis, right? Three micros is very small for me, but I wanted to test out to see what we were going to be. It was Friday. I wasn't about to risk the bank. And also at the time I had mentioned I'd already made 2,600 or $2,700 on this account already. So I didn't want to risk too much of the profits that I had already made as well. So as I mentioned here, I entered at 20,080. Stop loss was 20,053. Basically was risking about $170. And if you were talking about points wise, it was about a 27 point stop loss. So I was comfortable with that, right? And so, anyways, I'm gonna kind of dig deeper into this by highlighting the trade that I took. So the two MNQs, or not the two MNQs, so the two separate trade setups here. I'm gonna zoom in here now. Um, Hopefully it's showing properly on your guys' end. But as you guys saw earlier in my Discord log, this was like the first long that I actually had originally taken prior on this account as well. And then we kind of came back down for a hold again, and we came back down again. And so as the moment I kind of saw, I'm like, you know what, we might actually hold here for a triple bottom. Now, obviously, as you can see how it panned out, it wasn't really a clean triple bottom. Maybe if you looked at the 15-minute time frame, it would have been, but this is the 2-minute time frame. And so my stop loss was basically below the candle wick here, about I think about 2 points, give or take. And you can kind of see at some point later on in the trade, it did really push down, but it didn't hit my stop loss, which is great, right? Um, but when I took this trade, even though I was trading micros, I wasn't really thinking about the dollars. I was just simply thinking about the R multiple. So if I was willing to risk $166, which was the exact amount, I know I said 170 Discord, but the exact dollar was 166. I was looking for more than 1R. So, for with the three micros that I had, when I trimmed up here, which was for $147, that was with one micro. At this point in time, I was already 3R for the trade. I was hoping to get more. About up here, we were about 4.5R. I was looking for 5R and we never touched it. It was just slightly above. And we pretty much just chopped throughout the day. So as we got closer and closer to the market close, as you can see here, I basically stopped out or closed my position right at 1 o'clock, which is when the market closed. And I just took my exit there with my last two contract, which is still about $181. So in total, between the two, the trim that I had and I'll just say the stop loss that I had because I did close out at that point, I made a little over $320. So that's about 2R. So you know that like in the end of the day, the trade was still a 2R trade. So I'm still happy with it for the R multiple. Forget the dollars. I think the point of the matter is that, if you can trade with the right size, right, that's comfortable enough for you to be able to last this journey, it's worth it for the craft, right? Because if you have a trade like this, once a day, maybe once every couple of days or whatever that may be, because I know I don't encourage that we trade every single day. Um, but it can go a long way, right? Imagine if you were looking to pass a 50K eval. I mean, technically speaking, right? Like if you had days like this, just 10 trading days like this, and you would pass your eval, right? Or you could look at it as within 5 trading days, you would have made about $1,500 on a funded account. Now, is that enough for a payout? I don't know. It really depends on the prop firm, obviously. But nevertheless, if you just took one account and you just traded a few micros and really harnessed your craft, and if you could be patient enough to get those A plus setups over the course of a month, right? Whether it's 10 trading days, 20 trading days, right? Again, not every day is going to be binarily the same. So I don't want to give like an arbitrary number, but if you could achieve that $3,000, so $300 per day, 10 trading days over the course of 30 days in a month, which I guess would be about 20 to 25 trading days. So if you would traded 10 of the 25 trading days, right? You're trading about like a third of the time, give or take, a little bit more than that, obviously, but and you could achieve $3,000 for any funded account. If you did a payout, let's just say you want to retain the $2,000 drawdown, that's still $1,000. And so for a lot of us who are still practicing the craft, again, you haven't at this point, I'm posing the scenario that we haven't even mastered the craft yet. We're still perfecting it. We're trying to fine tune it. And if you were able to make $1,000 trading micros every single month, that's still $12,000 a year. For many, that's like a part-time job. I'm just drawing that correlation, and I guess, depending on the conversation, I may or may not use this example, but I only bring this up because I get a lot of people who are like getting into the craft of trading and immediately wanting to make thousands and thousands of dollars day in, week out. And it's kind of like, I don't know if that's a realistic expectation. Just like in your career or business, managing your expectation is so critical because managing your expectation is a direct correlation to your trading psychology. If we're telling ourselves that, hey, you know what, we want $1,000 every single day, you might, take very risky trades or, break your own discipline of systems just to attempt to achieve that arbitrary number, which in the end of the day, might actually cause you to tilt or cause you to lose your account, which I'm speaking from experience. That has happened to me many times trying to hit those targets, right? So all in all, I guess the summary of it is I want to just highlight that, even with micros, you can do a lot of damage, right? Like I know from a dollar figure for me, this is lower than I'm used to, but I'm comfortable with it because to be honest, when I was in this trade, I had like zero anxiety. Like I had no care in the world, no emotion because of the fact that I knew that I was sized for the risk that I was taking, right? I knew it was a Friday. It was near the end of the day. I already made profits. I really shouldn't be looking to give more profits back. So, sizing my position the way that I had, if I had lost $166 of the 2,700, I would have been more than okay with that, right? Obviously, if let's say you didn't make any money on the day, again, if you had a 50K account with Topstep, right, which is what this account was, $166 risk. I mean, I could technically, not saying that I would want to fail my trades that many times, right? But if I was using that $166 math, right? In theory, I can fail 12 trades before my account would be blown. And so assuming that I don't overtrade, I mean that could technically last me a solid week, right? Assuming that I was on a complete losing streak, right? So I think all in all, when we're in the game of trading, um, our capital is our fuel. And so we don't want to exert all of our fuel within a day or whatever it may be, forcing trades and what have you. As we're practicing the craft and still trying to figure out what is considered our setup, our edge, it's important to just take our time at this. So for those out there who are still really trying to perfect the craft, don't let the big numbers of those out there who are making, thousands and 10,000s, $100,000 a day, don't let those numbers get to us. Time and place. There are traders out there who've been trading for 10 plus years that are still trying to figure their craft out. And so don't let that get to us. Don't rush it. Don't rush the process. Take your time at is essentially what I'm trying to say, right? So anyways, I wanted to just touch on that a little bit because I think that's important. I will zoom out a little bit just to kind of talk about the log because as I was kind of updating throughout the day, I was just talking about the fact that man, was this chop, right? Like we were chopping throughout the whole period of time. And we saw some key reactions throughout the day, but all in all, it was still pretty solid, right? So no complaints. Anyways, yeah, that's the kind of the gist of it. If there's any questions or comments, I guess always just drop a comment below. I will try to share as much as I can. I will probably start producing a lot more content over the next couple of weeks here as well as I prepare for the mentorship because I think there will be some prerequisite things that I want people to kind of already know coming into the mentorship. Otherwise, they might not grasp it as much as I would like them to. It's kind of like reading a book. If you're completely out of your depth, you might not really take away what the author intended you to take away. And so in this case, I want to say that the mentorship is designed for all levels, whether you're experienced already or still learning. I want to make sure that the students that go through it are gonna, really relish and learn and absorb a lot as much as they can out of the mentorship, right? So I am gonna put out some prerequisite videos, things that talk about things like what are futures, like just some of those basic things that basic to us who are trading it already, but those who have never traded before at all, they don't know what a prop firm is, they don't know what a futures asset is, what the NQ is, what a micro is. And so I'm going to start doing some of those little videos and tidbits along the way. But anyways, if other valuable content, I will try to do my best to put more out there. But anyways, until next time, thanks for tuning in. I will try to continue sharing more. See you guys around.